You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Silicon Valley's dirty secret. Trump has white-collar workers running scared, based on an article by Matthew Rosso. AI is not hitting everyone equally. That is the point. The policy choice behind the panic. Donald Trump has pushed America toward faster AI development instead of regulation, and the consequences are not abstract. The article's reveal stories is not a mysterious technology wave. It is a chain of decisions. Political power cleared the runway, corporate management hit the gas, and workers were told to absorb the damages progress. That is not an accident. It is an allocation of pain. Tech workers are the warning label. The piece treats laid-off tech workers as a newly vulnerable class, and that is useful as far as it goes. More than 800,000 tech workers have been laid off since 2022, with major cuts at Meta, Microsoft, Oracle, and Amazon. These are not marginal firms or marginal workers. They are the people who helped build the system and are now being told to watch it erase their jobs. That matters politically because it exposes the fraud in the usual meritocracy script. The most educated workers in the richest sector are being made disposable. If they are not protected, no one should pretend the rest of the labor force is safer. Management wants speed, not truth. The source makes one of the central facts plain: managers are pushing AI even when it produces bad work. Anneke Buffone's account is the clearest example. She said the system had so many errors she had to redo its work, yet her managers wanted more of it, not less. They were not evaluating quality. They were enforcing a tempo. That is the rebel function of so much corporate AI deployment. It creates the illusion of efficiency while shifting the burden of cleanup onto workers. Automate your own job is not innovation language. It is discipline language. Wealth at the top, precarity below. The article includes a Federal Reserve statistic that should be treated as the center of the story, not a sidebar. The top 1% holds about 1/3 of US personal wealth, while the bottom half holds less than 3%. That is the structure inside which AI is being rolled out. When the richest actors get to decide the pace of technological change, the rest of society does not get a democratic debate. It gets a forced adjustment. The people making the decisions are insulated from the layoffs, the uncertainty, and the degraded work. The people carrying the cost are told to call it transformation. The ripple misdirection. The dominant framing invites sympathy for professional class anxiety, which is understandable, but incomplete. The deeper problem is not that tech workers are losing status. It is that powerful institutions are using them as a test case for a broader labor regime built on instability, speed, and lower standards. That is why the AI race rhetoric is so useful to management and so destructive to everyone else. It recasts deliberate downsizing as destiny and treats declining quality as a minor technical issue instead of evidence that the product is being forced onto the market before it is ready. What this story actually shows: this is not a story about machines overtaking society. It is a story about executives, investors, and political actors using machines to widen their control over labor. Trump accelerated the policy environment. Big tech executives made the corporate choice. Managers enforced the result. Workers were left to absorb the risk. That pattern is bigger than Silicon Valley. It is how concentrated power behaves when it can externalize the cost of its own obsession with speed. The lesson is not that AI is inevitable. The lesson is that when wealth and political influence are left untouched, every new technology becomes a tool for making the same old hierarchy harder to challenge. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Arctic. Thanks for listening.